Hello everyone. Welcome to yet another Axie AI demonstration. Today we are addressing one of the biggest bottlenecks in the finance departments that your team is facing, which is manual data entry and matching of invoices. What we have designed is a zero touch point workflow that automatically extracts the invoices that your vendor sends you via email, and it intelligently matches them against your existing details in your ERP, which is SAP Business One. We match the vendor invoices with the purchase orders, the goods receipt, and we check for any discrepancies using OpenAI to intelligently identify, flag, and notify your team in case there is any mismatch of the data. Let's see how it works in real time.
Hello everyone, welcome to Appsy AI. My name is Pratik, and in this video I am going to demonstrate how the vendor invoice and purchase order matching agent works in real time. Okay, so this is a brief overview of how the entire workflow looks. I will now go in step by step and showcase how what each of the node does. So in this workflow, it works on a scheduled basis that periodically picks up the emails from your inbox. So here I'm using Gmail and it is searching for the new invoice emails. After that, we are using a decision node to check if the email is blank. If it is, then the workflow stops execution, and if not, then it moves on to the next level. In the next level, we are getting the details of the email along with the attachment if there is, and then we are decoding the attachment using a base 64 decoder. After the decodement is done, then we are using an OpenAI node to check for all of the details that are present in the email. So we have given them a prompt that needs to extract the SKU, items, quantity, price, and all of the other details. And then it will give us an output. Based on this output, we will convert it into a JSON file that we can use for searching in SAP Business One. Now, once the file has been converted to a JSON, we are checking if the invoice is present in the email. If there is no invoice present, then it will send a no invoice message to a Teams chat group where it will mention that no invoice is found in the email. If there is an invoice present, then we will search SAP Business One with the records, and then we are moving to a decision node where we are checking if the purchase order is present in the ERP system using the purchase order number that will be also present in the invoice. If there is a purchase order present in the ERP, then we will move to the next steps. Otherwise, it will again notify that there is no purchase order in the system. Then after that, when we move to the final part of the workflow, here it will check if goods receipt is present by using the status of the purchase order. If there is no goods receipt present, then it will notify again in the Teams chat group that there is no goods receipt present. And if there is a goods receipt present, then it will move to the AI node, the agent, where it will intelligently decide if all of the details are matching across both the vendor invoice and the purchase orders. Here again, we have given a prompt where it intelligently checks if everything matches: quantity, unit price, line total, and it also allows for intelligent rounding of difference values. So we have taken care of everything, and after that it will finally return an output of if it matches, or if it does not matches, again in the Teams chat group, as you can see here. Now what I will do is I'll walk you quickly through the components of this demonstration, and based on that we can proceed with the actual live. So here you can see that this is the invoice that we are receiving from Global Tech Solutions, which is our vendor. They are sending us this invoice with the invoice number, the date, the purchase order number against which the invoice has been raised, and then we have the SKUs of the items, the descriptions, quantities, unit price, totals, and subtotals. Now let me quickly showcase you the purchase order that is also present in the ERP system against which this invoice. We will go to the purchase order section and then we will open up the purchase order. Now I will search using the vendor name, which is Global Trade Solutions, and here we have the vendor details along with the purchase order that has been raised by us. Now if I open the relationship map, we can see that there is a goods receipt linked to this purchase order already, which means that we have received the products. If I open this goods receipt, you can see that the purchase order status is closed. And here is the goods receipt that we have received against the purchase order, along with all of the items. This email that you have seen that the vendor is sending us of the invoice, we have it in our email box. So I will show you the email box. So as you can see, we have the vendor's email, which is invoice for goods in the email. Now what I will do is I will execute the workflow and I will showcase you how it works and what the results it is. So I will just run this once for now. And as you can see that it has started executing, it has done all of the nodes. Now it is intelligently decoding the invoice. Then it is searching in SAP Business One for the details. And once it has been done, it intelligently identifies the result and it displays the final Teams message in the Teams chat. So as you can see, the workflow has done execution. So since we have the purchase order and the invoice and the goods received and all of the details match, it will show us a message that everything is all right. Now let's go to the Teams and check out if that is what has happened. So as you can see in this Teams chat box, we have the message which is invoice received from vendor Global Tech Solutions, corresponding PO number 10028. AI-based matching of invoice and PO has this result. The vendor invoice and purchase order match. No mismatches found. All items, quantities, unit prices, and totals are consistent between the documents. So this is how this workflow works. Now, along with this, I will also showcase you the other two scenarios, what happens. So let's move back to that. So let's say we have another email that has a different invoice. Now, in this scenario, this invoice will not match with the purchase order that we have in our system. So when we execute the workflow, it will provide us a different outcome. So again, I will just run this once and it will go to the different branch of the workflow. As you can see, it is going and it is decoding the invoice, and again it will move to the other part where it will notify that it is a different. So as you can see in the Teams, it has mentioned us vendor invoice received from Global Tech Solutions. After analysis, it had been identified that related purchase order does not exist in the system. Please address this situation manually because the purchase order number mentioned in the invoice is different from the purchase order that we have in the system. And for the last part, what happens if there is no invoice in the email? So what I will do is I will pick another mail that has no attachment and then I will execute the workflow one last time. Let me just run this once. And as you can see, it will go directly to the no invoice node. And again, if I open Teams, as you can see, no invoice found in email. So that is how this workflow works. It takes into account all the edge cases scenarios and it intelligently gives you the best possible outcome where you do not have to manually, work for settling your accounts or matching the invoices with the purchase orders. That's it for now. Thank you.